Page 4. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanye Joda Zoge Jonam Dage Jinsoge Betsonamge Jola Benjir Sanye Dubaresho Sanye Joda Zoge Chonam Chanjo Bardo Dane Gyapsoche Dage Jinsoge Betsonam Jola Benjir Sanye Dubaresho Sanye Joda Zoge Chonam Chanjo Bardo Dane Gyapsoche Dage Jinsoge Betsonam Dola Benjire Sangye Drubare Sho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Desham Dathagato Hyavatat Desham Chayo Nirodham Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Desham Jayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Desham Dathagato Hyavatat Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, there are 3 interesting questions from Subro. The questions are, the Virgo questions are there. And okay, when we get a little more free time, we'll do some of these questions. Okay, we'll turn to which stanza we left last time? Stanza 2. The conventions. We're talking about the conventions. It says that the Buddha, these terms are used by the Buddha in accordance with the worldly conventions. Simply because we say that things, the conventions, doesn't mean that things don't exist. Let's not forget it. So we began study of emptiness with the 2 questions. What's the first question? Do things exist? What's the answer? Yes. So let's not forget this. Then when we say yes, things do exist, then we tend to see things as so objectively real. This is how whether we like it or not, or whether we admit it or not, this is reality. This is how the things appear to us as so real. When we come to question this, the flower with the atom, the flower does not appear. Where's the flower? So then the subjectivity gradually comes to our mind. Oh, some perception taking place over there. It's not there. This is what is coming to my mind. So with this in mind, we get some understanding of the emptiness. Now the next phase, where we are bound to fall into, is that from the object there's nothing there. So there's nothing truly there. It's like imagination. This is the next phase. This is again a problem. Imagination means we are falling, tilting into nihilism, tilting towards nihilism. Again, there we need to rely on, say, the very refined teachings such as the three principal aspects of the path, which we read this morning. This morning meaning during the 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. class, the morning meditation. We read that. The three principles. Sometimes we'll read that. That's very important, and also that there are some other the another section there, the compilation of the verses and the from the sutras and the teachings of the great masters. Okay, first let us just keep reading this, and then meanwhile, whatever is important, I'll try to bring them every now and then. Stanza 2. All phenomena must have either self-existence or non-self-existence. There's no phenomena which is other than these two. So when we say something, the flower, that it has self-nature or it has no self-nature. These two be the only two possibilities. We cannot go for, it is selfhood, it has self-nature as well as non-self-nature. This is not possible. We can say that the flower is impermanent or it's permanent. We cannot say it's permanent as well as impermanent. But there are some philosophical schools who believe that the self is permanent as well as impermanent. They are. So, of course, this is a contradictory. All phenomena must have either self-existence or non-self-existence. There is no phenomena which is other than the two. Nor are there any expressions which do not come under these two categories. All phenomena which are the subject of this treatise are similar to nirvana because all phenomena are devoid of inherent existence. So what is nirvana? Let's say, what is nirvana? This is very important. Nirvana should be understood as saying it is various layers of understanding. One is where your agitation subsides. Your agitation subsides and you feel the peace, and that absolute peace. There's one very superficial understanding. Yet, if we don't appreciate this, then we'll not go into the real nirvana. So first is that we see that there's so much agitation, sadness within us. When somebody says something, you feel unhappy. When somebody, even somebody praises you, you feel, say uplifted to such a great height. That's also uncomfortable, right? And sometimes you say the Wimbledon winners, right? What do? Oh, they cry, right? Sometimes they break the racket, right? So they become so excited. Is that really happiness? This is a question, right? So if this Wimbledon winners, if they get a feel of nirvana, right, then there's disturbance. That excitement is not really happiness. It's just a matter of comparison. The peace. This is so important to get an understanding of what we are seeking. The peace. And in this connection, I'd like to also share this. So relating this, otherwise it can become very dry. This can become very dry intellectual exercise. That the say how we relate this. So then we relate this to our real life, and then read this. You will see a great value in these teachings. In fact, this is what this anecdote is what I heard, and later on I came to also know that there's also what you find in the very prevalent amongst the Israelis in Israel. The anecdote is a beautiful anecdote, and believe it or not, how many of you feel agitated, dissatisfied, resents? Okay. Okay. So let's say that good. Say when you feel that, and if you really feel agitated, dissatisfied, so how to quell this is a very temporary solution. But if you're wise, even if you think you're not wise, if you're able to, build your intelligence and build your wisdom, then eventually it can be a permanent solution for our problems. That that there was a family. In a family, the father, mother, and the children, like 4 naughty children, right? Naughty boys, perhaps. Then these 4 children, they were just creating chaos in the house, and the father was so craving for peace of mind. He was not at all having peace of mind. Then he came to learn that in the mountain there was one, the saint, Guru. He went to the Guru and requested for him to bless him with peace. And the Guru said, "What do you want?" "I want peace." "Are you sure you want peace? And you want to do anything for this peace?" He said, "Yes, I want to do anything that you advise me to do." The Guru said, buy a goat. Buy a goat and keep it as a pet, your pet goat. So he thought that this must be some miracle. He went to buy a goat and so excited. And then from the next day, it was a great feast for the small children. They were beating the goat was blaring, and the droppings, everything was so messy. He became almost like crazy. He felt so disturbed. Disturbance simply escalated. He said, "No, this is not peace. This is not magic." Then he became so desperate. Then he went to the Guru. "Guru, no, it's not peace. Please do something." Guru said, "What do you want?" "Peace of mind." "You don't have peace of mind?" He said, "No, I don't have peace of mind." "Okay, you want to do whatever I ask you to do?" He said, "Yes." "You buy chicken now. Chicken. And keep that as your pet chicken." "Sure." "Yes. You have to do it, otherwise you will not get peace." He bought a chicken. Now the chicken flies here, there. Then the more droppings. The chicken on the goat and the children beating the goat, chasing the chicken, becomes so chaotic, messy. And this time he went to the Guru not to seek advice, Guru to fight with the Guru. And the Guru, "You really put me to hell." And the Guru said, "I did not do anything. And I want peace, and you brought me the chaos." And the Guru said, "What do you want?" "I want peace." "Are you sure?" "Yes." "Let go of this chicken." Then he let go of the chicken. He could find such a peace there. Wow, amazing peace. Then he went to the Guru to thank the Guru. "Thank you so much. What a great peace. Now I could feel the peace." Guru said, "Now let go of the goat also." He let go of the goat. The house became so clean. The children, they are not shouting, not running here and there. Absolute peaceful. This is a divine. He went to the Guru to thank the Guru. And the Guru said, "I did not give you any peace. This peace which you are feeling today existed the day when you came to me to ask for peace. It's already there. You do not realize it. Now you realize it. How? Through experiencing the relativity." So the thing is that we have to see that nothing's intrinsically there. When you see that there's no peace, the absence of peace, the chaos, the misery seems objectively real. Objectively, there's no chaos, there's no peace. Objectively, there's no peace. So, absence of objective peace, absence of objective chaos is the real peace. Is the real peace, where your mind is not going to be disturbed by any object. So this is what we need to keep in mind. With this, okay, this major problem here. So Ajiyji helped me, and then again that also is a little problem. I cannot make any notes there. Okay, it's here. Good. Ajiyji, we cannot make notes on your version, right? No, I could not do that. Okay, it doesn't matter. We'll sort it later. Okay, so what is nirvana? Nirvana is peace. What is that peace? Where you see that that your mind wants to feel the rest, stay rested, not being affected by external factors, right? not being affected by external factors. Okay, so the point is that it says that all phenomena which are the subject of this treatise are similar to nirvana. Yet, when you realize that nothing really objectively exists, it's all like a dream, you're not affected. You're not affected. You're not affected, your mind is at peace. Okay, so now for this, what I would ask you to do is that just look at the face of somebody else next to you. Look at the face. Look at the face of somebody else. No, don't shift too much. Right? No, only to one person. Stick to one person. Okay, I didn't ask you to smile, but you're smiling. I didn't ask you to smile. Just look at the other person. Don't be too serious also. Right? Okay, still you're smiling. Okay, now they come back. Come back meaning? Come back. Okay, now close your eyes. Think of the same person who made you smile. Think of the same person who made you smile. Okay, I'm glad. Nobody's smiling now. If you smile, it's time for you to go to mental hospital. Right? Is there anybody who smiled? Okay, so what I'm saying is that there's a difference. While you're looking at the other person, it makes you smile. While you think of this person, you don't smile. Just give me a very simple answer. What's the difference? Anybody raise hands? Raise hands. Raise hands. Give me a very simple answer. Here, Rachel. Exactly. How many agree with Rachel? Raise hands. When you know there's your mental projection, you don't smile, you don't react. There's a calmness there. So when you see there's objectivity there, it makes you to react. Either in the form of smile, or in the form of sadness, or in the form of very stern. I'm not going to smile at you, right? Very stern. So whatever is you are reacting it. You are reacting in different forms. So where your mind wants to just rest at peace, not being affected, but you're affected. When you see that the object as objectively real. When you know this, not from the object, it's from my mind, you stop reacting. Your mind is at peace. This is the meaning of where you see everything as a dream coming from your mind. Your mind finds the rest and peace. This is known as nirvana. This is real nirvana. Right? With the samadhi, with the meditation, say your mind. Look, the peace of mind has various levels. It's because of this that even with meditation, even with the single point of meditation, there are various levels of advancement where you feel the greater and greater and greater peace of mind. So let's say the one is, say, just get away from the engagement in all the sensual objects and just be inwardly reflect on the senses, the breath, and so forth. You see that your mind going after the gross object stops. The mind becomes subtler. That's a peace. Then at a higher level, so from this, then you see that these physical objects, they're gross. So the space is subtler than the physical objects. So instead of physical objects, instead of the breath, instead of the senses, instead of the breath, you shift it to the space. So there the object is subtler, the mind feels more at peace. Then from the space, you move to the consciousness or the mind. To the mind, which is subtler than the space. Infinite consciousness, infinite mind. There, the mind becomes your mind becomes even subtler and more peaceful. And then even the mind, there's some object there. You dissolve the object. You drop the object. Then the objectlessness becomes your object. Objectlessness becomes your object. That is subtler than the consciousness of the mind. Abundance, it gives you a greater peace. Then you try to drop the subject. The mind. Try to drop the subject cannot be dropped. Because time, you cannot drop time. time is, nobody can stop time. Nobody can stop time. Time flows eternally. So your mind, likewise, your mind cannot be stopped. Your subject cannot be stopped. So at the most, it can be made subtler and subtler. So trying to make the mind subtler is known as the meditative state of the peak of existence. Peak of existence. This is the subtle version of the samsaric meditation. Okay, so there still there is, the object-wise, there's objectlessness, there's object. Subject-wise, there's the subtle mind. Whereas now with the meditation emptiness, even the objectlessness also dropped. Even the objectlessness also dropped. So what is there as the object? There's nothing there to be described as this or this not. Is not, both are dropped. And how to drop? You have to drop both. You cannot drop like this. There's a way and a manner in which you can do it. Without which, just by saying, okay, I'm going to drop everything, you cannot drop everything. So this is the how we have to follow the meditation emptiness. So this is why it is so important. So nothing is left there to affect you. No object, no objectlessness to affect you. So that is when you feel your mind total at peace. This is known as nirvana. Okay. Because all phenomena which are the subject of this treatise are similar to nirvana, meaning that all phenomena, they have the nature of, all have the nature of emptiness. All have the nature of emptiness from the object. From the object, nothing to be there as this or that object. So there, and then that the mind is free from being affected by this particular object. Every object that has that quality. So your mind is freed from being affected by every object. That is nirvana. That's a peace. Stanza 3. What is the reason for this? It is because the inherent existence of all phenomena, objective existence, what affects you from the object, inherent existence or the objective existence of all phenomena is not to be found in causes, conditions, aggregations, or individualities. Aggregations meaning the collection. Aggregation meaning the collection, and the individualities meaning the specifics, individual objects, individual specific objects. Say, for example, we see that, okay, let's say that the morning bread that we had came from, let's say, the wheat, and the wheat came from the different causes and conditions, like the seed, then what? Soil, water, air, sunlight, meaning the crop. So the bread came from the wheat, and how the wheat it grows in the farm, care, farmers, and so forth. Okay, there are many factors. So it says that the 3 says, what is the reason for this? It is because the inherent existence of all phenomena, inherent existence meaning objective existence of phenomena, is not found in causes. This wheat growing, of course, it grows, but depends on causes, conditions, the collection, aggregation, collection of the cause conditions, and the individual causes. It depends on all these factors, but it does not depend inherently from an inherently existing the causes, conditions, collections, and the individual, the cause conditions inherently. Okay, this is where we need to reflect on the more. So that's very interesting. So when you first get some understanding, it can be quite scary that, okay, what's a flower? It's not really there. It's like an illusion, right? Just atoms there, and our mind sees as a flower. What is the cause of what is the cause of the apple tree? Apple seed. Even the apple seed is also like a tiny atoms. There's no apple seed there. It's just tiny atoms. And what's water? What is just H2O? What is the hydrogen? Hydrogen is what? 1 electron, 1 proton. That's it, right? Ocean, how many electrons and protons? 6. 8. Okay, 8 electrons, 8 protons, 8 neutrons. That's it, right? There's no oxygen. What is that? And we see as oxygen, and combining the 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen, we see as water molecule. And combining many of the molecules, we see the water flowing in the air. This is just like illusion. This is what What we are seeing just illusion, like. Then who's seeing this? I'm seeing this. Who's this I? If this body is also illusion, like. Even this mind we see, that is also illusion, like. So what is there? One illusion seeing another illusion. This is what we are seeing. It's very scary though. But initially it can be a little scary, and out of 1 million people, one person out of 1 million can be overly scared or can be overwhelmed by this experience. If you are that person out of 1 million, you are the most lucky person. Very lucky person, but be very careful. If that happens, if the fear really dominates you, takes grip of you fully, so intensely, stop the meditation and you must consult your teachers. This is so important. Whereas if a tinge of fear comes, it's fine. Don't think that you are the one out of 1 million people, right? A tinge of fear comes, that is when you can continue this practice. Is an indication that, okay, now fear means there's a clash. That's a clash. I say, you're wrong, and the person says, no, you're wrong. Then there's a clash there. Self-grasping ignorance thus far says that everything is objectively. Now the new wisdom is coming in you. There's nothing is objectively. So these two clash. The clash with these two manifest in the form of your fear. Because so far you believed in this self-grasping ignorance. Now you see that new reality is you're unfolding it. So there's a fear there. Now I'm losing my old friend. Who's your old friend? Self-grasping ignorance. I'm losing the old friend. So there's a fear in losing friends, yes? This is what manifests in the form of fear. You keep meditating on this, keep meditating, study more extensively. This is so important. So when you get a glimpse of this emptiness, to go for extensive studies is so crucial. Otherwise, at a certain point, okay, this is a problem. It always is. I don't know whether there's a problem with the iPad or my hand. Okay. Okay, good. So when it does happen, just continue your practice, plus engage in extensive studies. Study more. If possible, study with the people who have gone through these trainings for many years. Many years, who studied for example, say I don't want to just specify any, say the university, or say let's say somebody who, person A and person B, both are equal, intelligence-wise same, equal. And person A did his or her physics from, say, a very local, simple college, and other did physics in a very, very, very reputed university or college where all Nobel laureates in physics are produced. So if you are to choose your professor, who do you choose? The one from the local simple university or from that very prestigious university? Of course, the prestigious university, of course. Okay, so with this, you have to study the authentic books on emptiness, not just a book by anybody. You're getting it? Simply because there's a book on emptiness doesn't mean that there's authentic books. Don't forget it. This is so important. We are so naive. Simply because there's a book, you see it as, you take it as very serious. Don't take it like this. Don't take it like this. Because I know personally, when I was in my 20s, I saw somebody, I don't want to mention the name, a Western scholar. In the morning, he used to get teaching from my teacher. He was studying emptiness for the first time in his life. He's getting lesson from my teacher on emptiness. In the afternoon, he's writing commentary on the same book. And these books, they come out, written by this, there's a book, a commentary on this book, Mulla Madhume Karika, which is a very important book of Nagarjuna. Commentary on this is by this professor. It's a disaster. Don't just take this book seriously. You're getting it? For example, the books by Lama Tsongkhapa, a commentary on Nagarjuna, Acharya Chandrakirti, both are available there. You must read those books. These are These are so precious treasures. Say you are like dyeing the cloth. Dyeing the cloth. When you dye the cloth, white cloth, dye the cloth, don't dye too dull from the beginning. If you dye it dull, you cannot make it better anymore. Right? Even if you try to make it better, you cannot. Right from the beginning, dye it nicely, so that later you don't have to, be with this old habit. Okay, so this is what I like to suggest. So with this in mind, the extensive studies is very important, particularly when you go through some experience that what I'm seeing is not the reality. And you can also get a conviction that if I continue with this meditation, if I sustain this meditation through sustained reflection the studies, then I can see that my emotions, agitation, attachment, anger, jealousy, these things will subside. You will be the person to get this experience. You will be the person to become so confident in this. This is what is required. Okay. So let us say that the flower that grows, it depends on the seeds. It depends on the water, sunlight, air, so many factors. So these factors, some of them are substantial causes, like this. The seed, it actually becomes the flower, the sapling, the flower, and the water. Then the soil, the sunlight. These are the cooperative causes. So these causes, cooperative causes of the conditions, cause the conditions. So these causes the conditions individually, they support the flower. Collectively, they support the flower, but when we see them so intrinsically real as the causes and conditions supporting the results, giving rise to the results. This is how we see things. And so what we have to see is that even what we identify as the causes, conditions, even they are also like projection of my mind. Even the causes and conditions giving rise to the results, even the process of giving rise to result, even that's also comes from the mind. So from the object, there's nothing really there. So this is something that we need to keep in mind. Okay, let's read stanza 3. What is this? What is the reason for this? It is because the inherent existence of all phenomena is not to be found in causes. The conditions, causes meaning the substantial causes, and the conditions, the cooperative causes, aggregations, the collections of these causes, and the individualities or the specific causes. In other words, that the phenomena per se, these cause conditions, they themselves are like dream. They're not objectively real. And then this act of production is also not there as truly real. Thus, all phenomena are devoid of inherent existence and are empty of inherent existence. Okay, before we go further, I'd like to ask a question to you. How many of you have seen flowers growing? How many have seen wheat, corn, and the crops growing? How many have seen that? Or flowers growing? Raise hands. Good. How many have never seen that? Raise hands. Never seen. In Singapore, there's nothing growing.
There's no plants. Sorry, there's no plantations.
There's no crops. There's no agriculture department. There's no department for agriculture in Singapore.
There is a department, but there's no farmers.
Yes. Okay. So therefore, no flowers also. There's no flower growing.
There is.
Of course, you must have been to the horticulture.
No, I did not see.
You didn't go there. Oh, interesting. Okay. Sirin, how far are you from Solomon's place? You don't know. So they're just in which place? Where you live in Singapore?
In the central.
Oh, whatever is the case, Sirin, please take a pot of flour. Okay, so are you sure that you have seen the production of a flower? Not Kabir, you've never seen flower growing. I did not ask you process. I asked you whether you have seen a flower growing. Have you seen a flower growing? Or have you seen a small child growing? Huh? You've never seen. Interesting. You have no brothers, sisters? Smaller brothers? Oh, you're not sure you're in Deer Park? Huh? You're not sure you're in Deer Park? Huh? Huh? You're not sure. You're not sure you're going to get the lunch. So for you, there's you get or not get. It's not sure, right? Ravinder, bring him next to my door. Keep him there during the lunchtime. And maybe whether he's there or here, he's not sure. Are you sure that you're not sure? Are you sure that you're not sure? Which means you're not sure you're not sure. Huh? Am I Geshe? You said you're Geshe. Are you sure I'm Geshe? Is it subjectively? Are you sure it's subjective Geshe? Are you sure? Okay. So so tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is also if you ask for Rajendra, where can I get my food? Subjective food or objective food? Ask him. Right? Okay. My question to you is, if you are very sure, yes, of course. If you go to the shop and say that, oh, I want it, is this a subjective biscuit or the objective biscuit? They will send you to medical hospital. All right? Okay, be careful. All right. Okay, if you don't want to go to medical hospital, behave the way others. Even the Buddha has behaved conventionally. Even the Buddha. Right? Okay. So if you have really seen what is production, my question to you is, let's say at the flower, initially it was a seed, then as a sapling, seed and a shoot, right? Okay, so this sapling, this shoot, the process growing, the production, act of production, did it exist or not? Act of production. Without the act of production, this seed cannot become the flower. This seed cannot become the shoot. Yes? Okay. So this act of production is undeniably a reality. But as a act of production, if it does exist, it should exist in time. You agree? It should exist in time. Which time? At the time of the seed or at the time of the shoot? Huh? At the time of the seed or at the time of the shoot? Huh? Truth person, at the time of the seed, was it happening or not happening? Production was there or not there? Say the actual production. Actual production, was it existing at the time of the seed? Was it at the time of the seed or not? This is my question.
Yes.
Huh? Yes. Actual production is there. Huh? Was there at the time of the seed. Then the act of production also at the time of the shoot. It happened in both ways. At the time of the shoot, no, was it existing at the time of the shoot?
Yes.
Then at the time of the shoot was already produced. Already produced, act of production is useless. Act of production is to bring something which is not brought, but it's already there at the time of the shoot. You're getting it? So at the time of the seed, what is produced? Shoot is not there. It's being produced, yes. What is being produced? Without the shoot, how can you say it's being produced?
Potential.
Huh?
Potential.
Yes, potential shoot is even before it is put in the soil, it is there. So production is happening at that time when the seed is on my table. Huh?
We are giving the conditions to the seed.
No, the question is act of production. Act of production, when did it exist? At the time of the seed, at the time of the shoot. So, okay, think of this very seriously. At the time of the seed, what is produced? What is produced? And in your mind, if you feel a little uneasiness there, that's true. If the answer is, in your mind, yes, that's true. Say, to say that it is being produced. It, what is that it? Without this it, how can you say it is being produced? And establish should is already produced. Why the need of actual production? Actual production, why it is needed? So if the answer is, yes, that's true. It is already produced, no need of production. Then it's time to seed. It's the time to seed. There's no, they say, what is being produced? Seed, shoot is being produced. Without the shoot, how can you say it is being produced? When you feel that, that's very true, but mental disturbance, uneasiness is coming in you, you're getting somewhere. It's not because that you're getting lost. You are challenging the belief in objective production. You feel that every time something is there, you see that as objectively real, including production. So that was, I think, the first year or the second year of my being in the Institute of Buddhist Dialectics. I just read a book, a commentary on Heart Sutra. I just read it, and this question was asked, and it really disturbed my mind so much. I was so disturbed. Okay, that's true. Where is this actual production? I was just, as a young boy, maybe age 21 or 22, and then mentally so uneasy. And later on, I came to discover that it is actually a challenge to my basic belief that something exists, it should exist objectively. So it challenged my belief that production means objective production. Objective production is the affected, or that is being challenged. Okay, so when that uneasiness comes to you, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Go more deeper into your studies and keep more reflection, and gradually there's a clash happening. This uneasiness is the clash between what the new insight that you're getting with the old belief that things should exist objectively. There's a clash there that's reflected in the form of unease or the fear, and you will be more exposed to these studies. Then the fear will gradually disappear. The unease, even the unease will disappear, realizing that everything exists, but exists very differently, very different from how I believe them to exist. They exist by the power of my mind. Still, things operate infallibly. So this will gradually come. It will not come suddenly. It's not like 2 + 3 = 5. It's not like that. It's very different. Okay, it's a very gradual process. If unease comes to you, right? If unease comes to you, meanwhile, you try to give the answers. And somehow you cannot give the answer. Very honestly, you cannot give the answers. Give more studies. Then you will realize that the failure to give the answer is not because there is no answer, not because that is your limitation, it's because of our belief in things to be objectively real. Okay. So next is, these are the articulations. For us, we have a belief, we just believe. We believe that whatever exists should exist objectively. This is our chronic disease. And as I said earlier, say a young child, age 1, age 2, age 3, even that child, day 1 old child, even that child, he or she is suffering from chronic disease of seeing things objectively real. Right? It's not a small child, it's a very old person from many lifetimes ago, right? With so much of chronic imprints of the chronic disease of the bad imprints of self-grasping ignorance. So gradually, and then for that, what should we do? If there is, say, let's say this one, if there is a stain which is so ingrained there, and you don't have any special detergent, and you have to remove the stain, what should you do? Keep scratching it. Keep scratching it. You believe, you know that? You agree with me? Keep scratching it. The power of scratching, power of time, it will eventually remove this dirt, right? For example, you brush your teeth. How many have this problem? The teeth, the base of the teeth wears out. Base of the teeth, enamel, it wears out. How many of you had this problem with your hands? So 30, 40 plus, you have the problem, right? So when did it happen? Yesterday or the day before yesterday? Huh?
40 years.
Over the stretch of 30 years, 40 years, 20 years, you don't have experience, right? But you are in the process. You're in the process. 40 years, you have this problem. So recently I went to the dentist, and the dentist, I know what she's going to be, what she's asking, right? I know what she's saying. She said, hey, how do you brush your teeth? Demonstrate. She's actually asking whether I'm doing like this or doing like this. This is what she's asking. I did like this. And then she said that actually she was to teach me that you don't do like this. So an animal will be destroyed. You do like this or do this, almost like 40 years plus, your animal is gone. And this is the reality. Or 40 plus, how many reasons? Including myself. Animal gone, some part of it is gone. It's just reason those whose animals are perfectly intact, reason 40 plus. Perfectly intact? Are you sure? I'll check. maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know that you have this. Okay, but don't trust the doctors and dentists altogether. Sometimes they tell you nicely not to offend you, right? Okay. Why did you say this? Scratches. So this the animal won out, not in a day, not in 1 year, is over the stretch of 30 years, 40 years. Likewise, the chronic disease of the self-grasping ignorance to see things object real, which is samsara, is not which leads to samsara, is samsara. To see things object real, that itself is samsara. You're getting it? That itself is loss of freedom. And of course, I'm going to talk more on this a little later. For time being, let us try to cover this. Okay, so but just scratch. Keep scratching. How do you scratch? Study more, reflect more, study more, reflect more. Once you get a little glimpse, then you keep meditating on this. Study, reflect, meditate, study, reflect, meditate. And then you come back. Again, somebody, what a stupid person you are. Again, your anger arises. Your child is very dull. You become, unhappy, right? I don't think your child has the IQ. IQ is so low, right? So where is your emptiness? Look, this is the indication of our mind being chronically ill from the self-grasping ignorance. And the only way is by scratching every day. To be very honest, in my case, every day, if I get the opportunity, of course, I always take out separate time for meditation emptiness. I'm telling this not to boast, but to inspire you. This is what I'm trying to do. If I'm able to do that, sometimes I'm extremely busy, because of which too tired, then let's say like 7 hours classes, and then meeting with people, the meditation practice and so forth. So tired, no energy. Sometimes one hour meeting is more tiring than 7 hours meeting. Very complicated people, extremely tiring, right? So they have no energy. Then I lie down, take nap for like 3-4 hours. Then early in the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., whenever I wake up, I get up, do my practice. When I do this, then I feel that, okay, now my job, 1 day job of the scratching, self-grasping ignorance, just make a scratch. That is done. I'm glad. When I could not do this, then I feel so unhappy. I'm so sad. So this is how my time passes by. Okay, so in other words, what I'm saying is that let all of us go for extensive studies, reflection, and meditation. In my case, for example, say giving these teachings itself is my share of the extensive studies, my own studies. I'm reflecting on this, how to make these things simple to you. That is going to, reflection, and then my own personal meditation. So I try to always have these three things interact with me. So you also do the same thing. Yeah. So finally, how to free yourself from samsara. Nobody can be there to pull you out from samsara like this. It is only our own effort. Okay. Stanza 4. Okay. So some assert that a result already exists inherently in the nature of this cause. For example, let's say cause and effect. Cause and effect, we are so closely connected with the cause and effect. Say that you look at the weather forecast, or tomorrow it's going to be very good weather, we can go out. So cause and effect. This is how we do it. And then wise people, they will always try to go for the causes to expect the result. Unwise people, they expect the wrong causes. They engage wrong causes, expecting the good results. These are unwise. Wise people will go into the correct causes to expecting the good results. So this is how we are all into we are involved with the cause and effect relationships. With this, we constantly see the cause effect as objectively real, as intrinsically real. So now articulation is happening, and the Indian philosophies, this is amazing. Articulation is happening. Say, even if you advocate that yes, things exist objectively, they articulate it. So how do they articulate it? Say, for example, say the flower is produced. So flower is produced from the cause, which means, say, if you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil come out of that. So from this reasoning, you get a sense that you squeeze a handful of something, oil comes out, which means there should be oil there. Likewise, you plant a seed, an apple tree comes out. There should be apple tree in the seed. You're getting it? By this logic, there should be apple tree in the seed. So the result should be in the seed. Without the result being in the seed, the result cannot come out of this. Without the person in the house, how a person cannot come out of the house. So this is how one articulation is done in those days. So where they believe that results are in the cause. So it says, number 4, some assert that a result already exists inherently in the nature of its cause, meaning in the cause. It is there in the cause. But then it cannot arise because it already exists. If the result is already there, then why the cause is required? Cause means to give rise to result which is not there. And if the result is already there, what's the use of the cause? So at least the opponent is trying to articulate the concept that the result is already there in the cause. And for this, our intelligence, our knowledge must be expanded. For example, like we talk about the genetics, the genes, how the genes operate. So what is this accepted here? That the result is already in the cause. That is rejected here by Nagarjuna. So today we talk about the genes. So for example, say I was conceived in mother's womb, and then for example, the body hairs now, like age 30, white hairs are coming out, and today how many black hairs are there, how many white, they're all determined in the genes, already determined in the genes. And if I eat good food, my hair will not become, white hair will not become black. They can't become black, even if I eat good food, right? But hair will become healthy, right? If my hair I think is not curly, it's straight. But if I eat good food, it will not become curly. If it's curly, if I eat good food, it will not become straight, right? This is all determined in the genes, right? And at what point maybe there's one hair coming from here, right? If that's also determined in the gene. So from this, we get a feeling as though like all the results, they're already fixed in the cause. So this, and what is said here, that the result is in the cause, these two are not identical. These two are not same. Some people, they think that these two are same, these two are not the same. So instead, this is more like you plant an apple seed, don't expect apple tree growing out, don't mango tree growing out of that. You're getting it? So mango tree is determined by mango seed. It doesn't mean that mango is in the seed, but it is a potentiality gives rise to the apple tree, not to the mango tree. You're getting it? So the genes, simply because of the the refinedness of the understanding of the concept of the genes, people instantly think that, oh, this is what is meant, the result is in the cause. No, the result is not in the cause, the potential of the result is in the cause. Okay. Whatever, what is that? Form, some assert that a result already exists inherently in the nature of the cause. So here we need to learn the skills. If somebody says that the results are already in the cause, rejecting it should not be to reject somebody else. Reject your own self-grasping ignorance. Reject. This should be. All these debates should be a means for you to divert it into yourself, not to somebody else, to reject somebody else, one particular philosophical tradition. To reject, no, this tradition is not hopeless, is rejected. No, this is not the purpose. The purpose is that we suffer from a chronic disease of seeing things objectively real. And say production, the flowers grows in the spring. Yes, this production also objectively real. So that is a chronic belief. That is to be refuted. For that matter, these different traditions, they help us to articulate what does it mean by objective existence. Objectively, where's this production? Where is the seed? Where is the result? Results in the seed, in the cause. Oh, that's not possible. Then the result already there. What's the need of the seed? What's the need of the cause? The cause will help to make the result which is not existent. But if it's already existent, why is it the need of it? So this is how we are learning the skills, intelligence. Intelligence, building intelligence, eventually to see that nothing is objectively there, number one. Number two, others, line 3 of stanza 4, others assert that a result exists inherently, but not in the nature of its cause, but not as in the cause, but it exists inherently. Okay, so what's the problem? Say, the apple, you plant this apple seed today, and after 2 weeks, after 1 month, the apple shoot comes out. So this apple shoot was non-existent at the time of the seed. It is not in the seed, but it came out after 1 month. And the seed and the apple, the shoot, these two are different. If you believe that these two are inherently different, what's the problem? So anything which you believe to be inherently real, this does not hold true. So what's the problem if somebody believes that the seed and the apple seed and the apple sapling, which arises after 1 month, these two are inherently different? What's the problem? Okay, let's see. Anybody?
You can take away the causes, and it's supposed to stay. If you take away the seed, there's no.
Yes, once a shoot came out, the seed is already gone. You don't have to take out; it's already gone. So what's the problem? Anyone? Rachel? No, how the production is not possible. How these two are, so how not? How these two don't, how neither exists inherently, how? Okay, shoot cannot come without the seed, right? So there's a dependency there. Okay, keep in mind, for example, if I believe in objective existence, so let's say from the 4 Buddhist schools, what are the 4 Buddhist schools? I think we did it in this course or in the earlier courses. In this course, what are the 4? Okay, those people from NMC, NDC, they are so, they're making sure that the class is not interrupted. They just say it. Okay, I'm actually checking those faces. Okay, so the 4 schools. From the 4 schools, only the last one, Madhyamika, particularly within Madhyamika, there's one particular school known as Prasangika Madhyamika. Prasangika Madhyamika. So only this school rejects objective existence successfully. Only this school rejects objective existence successfully. All others, they try to reject some degree of objectivity, not full. You're getting it? Okay. So let's say that I'm Chittamatra philosopher. and this is to Vidya. I'm Chittamatra philosopher. I said that yes, the flower exists objectively. The flower is produced objectively, but the flower depends on the seeds. I know that. Simply because it depends on the seed doesn't mean the flower doesn't exist objectively. So what would you say, Vidya? Okay, this is what we need to keep in mind. You're getting it? It's not about me and Vidya argument. It's about all of us. So this is how we need to learn how to articulate your concepts and how the opponents can come up with a stronger debate, very logical debate, and you should be able to reject it accordingly. If somebody comes with very logical assertion, questions, and then if you cannot respond properly, then your self-grasping ignorance cannot be rejected. Okay, so what would you say if Chittamatra, who said that yes, the flower exists objectively, but it exists by dependence on the causes. So how would you reject that the flower to be objectively real or flower to be independently real? How do you reject it? Okay, these are things that let's finish this first. So these two things, the causes and the results, these two are seen as inherently different. Inherently different means, okay, for time being, let's do like this, and our job is to make it more and more refined. For time being, let's see this. If these two are inherently different, these two become unconnected, not connected. If they are not related, non-related, then what the Vidya said, if it is not related, then it is like, for example, let's say that there are two persons. There are two persons there, and person A leaves for the lunch, and person B stays here. It does not affect the person. Person A leaves and person B stays here. Person A leaving does not affect the person B. Person B can continue with the things. So these two are like totally unrelated to persons. Likewise, the cause and effect, if these two are inherently real, then one will not affect the other. You're getting it for the time being. And later on, all these questions must be asked, and you should come up with the proper answers, with the proper reflections. And this is a matter of evolution. Okay. So the four positions. One says that the result is in the cause. Number two says that no, the result is different from the cause, but these two both exist inherently. So somebody accepting inherent existence for the production, there are four possibilities. One to say the result is in the cause. Okay, first let's say someone said there's no result, it's a random production. One belief. There's no result, there's no cause. It's a random production, right? There are many traditions who believe in randomness. For example, even Charles Darwin's evolutionary theory, even there's a part of that. Charles Darwin, when you ask, of course, the Charles Darwin, for example, the human evolution, it traces back till the unicellular organism, not Big Bang, unicellular organism 4 billion years ago. Till that point, they track it. But in between, when they ask why all these the things which came from the Big Bang over the stretch of 11 billion years, they are in the form of the homogeneous mixture. There's homogeneity there. From this, suddenly something remains as a rock, something become a human being, something. Why? Why not as rocks? Not all as humans? Not all as rocks. Why not? There's no answer. It is randomness. This is Charles Darwin's evolutionary theory. So where there are many explanatory gaps there. You're getting it? So, which means no choice other than to say randomness. So with acceptance of randomness, there's so much contradictions. Why not randomly everybody as human beings? Why not randomly everybody as apes, monkeys, or rocks? Why not? Right? Why not? Again, no answer. So one is the randomness. Then second option is that, there's a seed there. It's not random. The seed, but the result is in the seed already. Number 3 is that no, the result is outside the seed, meaning that the initially seed and later the result comes, but intrinsically real, objectively real. Then the 4th one is that the result, the cause and effect, the result is in the seed as well as not in the seed. Right? The result is in the seed as well as not in the seed. It's so weird. But for them it's not weird, for us it's weird. Right? So result is in the seed as well as not in the seed. Okay. So these 4 positions are to be rejected. So it says, we'll finish this. Stanza 4, line 3. Others assert that result exists inherently but not in the nature of the cause as different from the cause. So it cannot arise because it is not in the nature of its cause. So saying that the cause and the result, these two are intrinsically different. If just intrinsically different, they are disconnected. If they are just connected, these two are not related. If they are not related, they are not dependent on each other. If they are not dependent on each other, one cannot produce the other. Yet others assert that the result both does and does not exist inherently. The result exists in the cause as well as not in the cause. Right? Okay, that's easier to be rejected. How would you reject it? This is weird. It's weird. It's contradictory. Huh? Paradox. Is it paradoxical? Is it contradictory? Or is it weird? So, yet others assert that the result both does and does not exist inherently in its cause. But then they are asserting contradictory views about an object because an object cannot simultaneously both exist and not exist. Because phenomena do not arise inherently in these 4 ways. Also, they do not endure and cease inherently. So, when the production is not inherently, when the arising is not seen as inherently happening, so when there's no arising inherently happening, then inherently there's no enduring, there's no ceasing. Okay, we'll stop here. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha Adyatam Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha Adyatam Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha